Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I have some goodies to show you guys because I went shopping. I spent some money. I was feeling kind of like creatively blocked because I was just getting the itch to try new goodies, to try different materials, to try different color shades, different color palettes, different art supplies overall. So I went and did some damage to my bank account and these are different products for me. Well, most of them are. I wanted to try different things, different products from what is usually used on normal bullet journaling videos throughout like the bullet journaling community, and I feel like most of the time people just use like Tombos and other materials that are very in like America, because I feel like most of the bullet journaling community is from like America or Australia or stuff. I'm European, and so I was like, you know what, let's try some European products. Most of these are from Faber-Castell, which is a very common brand here. I grew up like looking at their very classical like red pencil boxes that were so iconic and so beautiful. So I was like, you know what, I never see people using these. Let's give them a go. Because you know what, like with the inflation, the Tombow markers have gotten expensive, so I need to look at alternatives. Also, I feel like from their shade range, I've gotten the ones that I like the most already, and there's really not that much for exploration, at least for me, for the color palettes that I usually like. So I have these items that we're gonna be trying. We have the Pitt, why is that open? We have the Pitt Artist Pens and Sanguine. It has like 3 fine liners and 1 brush. We have these brush pens from Faber-Castell as well. We have these fine liners from Stabilo, and we have this beautiful set, which it's not reflecting the light, yay, from Faber-Castell as well. 12 shades of brush pens. So let's give these a go. We're gonna be doing some swatches and testing these out, and I'll be giving you guys my thoughts. I bought all of these with my own money from Amazon. There are no affiliate links. I can share links from where I got them from. I got them from Amazon Spain. I'm from Portugal, so that is the Amazon that I have to buy from because we do not have an Amazon Portugal as of now. We buy from Spain. So I can link them down below for you guys, but keep in mind, no affiliate links going on. Everything was paid with my own money, so I'm just going to be telling you guys straight up what I think about these items, and let's hope that they're good, because otherwise I kind of spend my money on stuff that I'm not going to be using. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with these. Again, I don't know why I opened this. These are the Pitt Artist Pens and Sanguine, or Sanguine, I'm not entirely sure how you would pronounce that. I used to have a pack of these Pitt Artist Pens way back. They were just brush pens, and they were all in shades of gray, because they have these packs of just like brush pens or just fine liners with different like purposes. They have ones, those ones in shades of gray that I had years ago. They still have those, and they have them like in sepia tones and like for different purposes like landscaping tones, etc. So these are in Sanguine or Sanguine, which I thought was really interesting. If you guys have been here for a while, I use mostly sepia tone fine liners, specifically this one from Winsor & Newton. It's in sepia tone, it's 0.3. I really like it. Black fine liners give a really harsh outline, while sepia tone ones give it a bit more of a like softer feel, and I usually like that more. And I saw these and I thought they were a bit redder, at least they looked a little bit red on the Amazon photo, and I thought that would be interesting as well. These are kind of orange, but I'm curious to see what these look like. So I'm gonna swatch these and I'm gonna come back with my thoughts. Let's start with, for some reason they have, beyond the like the thickness, they have letters. So you have 0.3 is S, 0.5 is F, and 0.7 is M. They don't really have an explanation for that. I'm assuming that like 0.3 S is small, F is fine, and M is medium, but they don't really have an explanation for what those letters mean. Anyways, we have the numbers, so that helps. So let's start. This is what the nib looks like for comparison. Here's what the Winsor & Newton one looks like. So this one, I really like the Winsor & Newton because it feels like very ergonomical when you hold it. I like the distance that there is between this part and that. This one is not exactly the same, but it does have this kind of like transition here for you to hold. So that's nice. I like that. So anyways, this is the Winsor & Newton sepia tone. So I guess we will have a bit of a comparison with this. So these are what the Fineliners look like. So we have 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7. In comparison to like the Winsor & Newton one, the 0.3 is very similar as far as thickness goes. Color-wise, it's a bit more orangey. It's like an orangey brown. I really like the shade. I'm not entirely sure how I would incorporate this into a drawing in my bullet journal, but I'm excited to experiment with this. I feel like in the same way that like the black fineliner gives a very stark vibe, and like the sepia tone gives it a bit more softer, I feel like this might give it a bit of a brighter feel. Maybe, could be wrong, but I'm excited to try that. And here are the nibs in comparison to each other. So we have 0.3, 0.5, and 0.7. The 0.7 one is bulky. I like her. I like all of them. They feel very nice when you're writing. A lot of people like the micron, like these are my least favorite fineliners that I've used so far, and I do not understand why people love these so much. I don't like the way that they feel in your hand when you hold them. I don't like the nib. I feel like it's very unstable, at least for me. These feel very stable. I like the way they feel in my hand. Very nice. I like these a lot. Also with the microns, I feel like the nibs deform a lot and very quickly, and I feel like these won't, like the Winsor & Newton ones. They feel similar. So that is very nice. Go on with the brush. Do you see what the brush looks like? That is so cool. Like, it's so thin. So I feel like that will allow for a lot of like precision. So let's see. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Okay. So you guys see how that just goes along with the movement? It's very malleable. Very, very malleable. You can go from like really like thick lines to very thin lines. You know, from like, ooh. Do you see that? I would just have to like practice a little bit with this to like have that zip transition. But do you see how thin like, let's go with the thinnest, and I'm pretty sure that you could get this to be, yeah, you can get this to be thinner if you had a lot of like precision in your hands. My hands are kind of shaky, so I struggle with that a little bit, but you can get it to be really thin and like super thick, which is really cool. And do you see how like pretty that color is? I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but it's like a very muted coppery tone. I really love this in the brush format. It's really nice that you have like the Fineliners and a brush, because let's say that you want to do some lettering, but you don't really want to have it with a pop of color. You can just have the lettering with the same color as your fineliner, and it'll look very cohesive, and you can do some different techniques. Really like this. My only concern with these is that, at least with my Amazon, which keep in mind it could be an issue with just the availability of these on Amazon, they maybe exist. I could not find these sold separately. I will see if they are sold separately, because it would be a bummer if let's say I just use mostly the 0.3 and the brush. It would be a bummer to have to buy like just the full set to get one of them. Price point wise, this set I believe was 7 something, like 7, almost 8 euros, which honestly, each one of these Winsor & Newton ones, this is new separately, this is 350 each. They're kind of pricey. I like to splurge on them because honestly they're really good. They're worth the money in my opinion, and they do last for a really long time. They, like I said, they don't really get deformed like the micron ones, so I really like them for that. Let's move on with these. These are the usual like Stabilo Fineliners. Nothing really new besides the colors. They came out with, from what I could see on Amazon, they came out with these nature colors palette on pretty much every item that they usually sell. So they have these in the Fineliners, they have it in the usual markers, the highlighters, which these look so cute on the highlighters. If you take notes, like if you're in school or whatever, if you have note-taking situations going on, the Fineliners and the highlighters would probably be like a really cool combo to use in that scenario. But basically, from what I can see, these are no different from the Fineliner, usually Stabilo ones that I own. I own like the basic kit. These are 0.4 in thickness, and the difference is just the color palette, which I will say is really pretty. So I'm gonna make swatches of these and we'll be back. Okay, so that is all of them. Main thoughts. It can be useful for some people for there to be a black on here. If you already have like the basic collection, the black is kind of pointless unless if you like to just carry this around in case like I was saying, if you go like to school, college, whatever, and you need to like take note-taking supplies with you, black might be handy. Other than that, if you already have the basic kit and you just use this for drawing at home, oh sorry, the black is kind of pointless. But well, if you don't have the basic kit, it can be handy for you. Other than that, the colors are really pretty and they do line up beautifully with each other. This bad boy is way darker than I thought it would be. I would prefer it to have been like a muted coral or something like that. As I was saying, I would have preferred it to be a bit more coral and less red. Not sure how it's picking up on camera. In real life, it's like a corally red. I would have preferred it to be less red, but you know what? That's fine. This one and this one, they're my favorites, but this one takes the cake. This one is so beautiful. This one, and this one. I really like this one as well. But overall, they're all really, really pretty, and I'm considering buying the markers because I would love to have a marker of this shade. And this one as well. They're really, really beautiful. And honestly, I would really like the highlighters as well. Though the highlighters do also come with black, which in their defense, like the brand, as far as like the pictures on Amazon, they showed it as like a drawing. So more of like drawing tools than note-taking tools. in the concept of drawing, yeah, that can be really interesting to have like a really thick black marker for some uses. But yeah, I don't really have that much to say on these. I've never had any complaints with Stabilo Fineliners, except for the fact that sometimes the colors on the caps have nothing to do with the colors on the actual markers. That's not really the case for these. I mean, these are pretty evenly matched. We could say that this one is a bit more coral on the cap, but honestly it's not that huge a difference, so not mad at it. Overall, really pretty color palette. Just wish that this was lighter. That's my only complaint with this. Yeah, so let's move on to the next item. Oh, and as for this price, I think that these were like $7 something. It's not that far off from their usual prices for Fineliners. So these bad boys, again, back with Faber-Castell. We're just reviewing Faber-Castell from this point onwards. These ones caught my eye because these are brush pens, but they are different from their usual Pit Artist pens. They're like, I guess they're a bit more focused on like drawing or calligraphy or something. They are black edition, but from what I can see, that's just due to the fact that their packaging is black. I look at these like black edition branding strategies and my brain goes, this works on black paper. And no, they're not supposed to be on black paper. They are just black as far as packaging. So yeah, good thing with these, they are made with food dyes. So I think that the idea is for these to be a bit more eco-friendly, I guess. These were 6 for €5. If these are good, if these are good, I'm gonna be so happy because that is a bit of a bargain. So again, I'm gonna swatch and we'll be back. Here's the nib. Fairly similar to like a Tombow, I'd say. Go in. So, you guys see that? This is a Tombow, the blue one, and this is the Faber-Castell one. Lengthwise, it feels a little bit shorter, but ever so slightly, and just a little bit thinner and not as like cone shaped. The Tombow was very like a cone, and this is like more even. So we shall see. We will see. So, apologies, I struggled a little bit with like keeping these all in even lines, I'm sorry. Color-wise, listen, the colors are cute and there's a lot of like color payoff. I will say this and this are a lot darker than I would have expected and possibly even wanted from like a pastel kind of vibe color set. And I resent the fact that there is no blue because this is straight up like teal green and this is like another purple, so I would have like substituted this for like a blue. That's just my opinion. Mobility wise, like for drawing, really like them. For lettering, I have my questions. Like I was saying, like the Tombow, they're a bit longer, there's a bit more difference. With similar to like the Tombow, it gets to a point where you guys saw how I was moving it with this brush pen, like the whole thing moves and adapts. Both with the Tombow, it gets to a point where like this central part doesn't move. These ones do the same, like that one, like the center kind of doesn't really move. You can definitely like do some like motion with it. Personally, my hand is kind of shaky, so this could be a me problem, but I kind of struggled with going from like the finer point to the like thicker point, at least steadily. It could be due to the fact that my hand is shaky right now. I would say to make like a bit more of like a finer lettering would be tricky. So if you are going with like larger sized lettering, maybe this would be very nice. But if you want to be like very detailed, very dainty, I wouldn't really go with these. The but maybe it could just be an issue of practicing with these and with your precision. It could be that. But again, for the price point, let me repeat, one Tombow right now cost me a minimum of $4.20. These were 5 for $6. I can't ask that much more of them, honestly. If we're being very real right now, for the price point, literally for a little less than the price of one Tombow, I get 6 of these. The colors are really pretty. They all work very nicely together. Nice color payoff. It doesn't streak very crazy when you color it in. No complaints so far. I would just wish that there was a blue one here. But you know what? Again, for €5, it's very nice. Or if you're like just wanting to start out with bullet journaling or with experimenting with brush pens, but you don't really want to splurge, this would be a good starting point. So really happy with this for the price point. Again, very nice. And I think I will mostly just use them for coloring things in. Also, I haven't really been doing that much lettering at this point. I'm kind of done with lettering to a certain extent. So I'm perfectly fine with the amount of money I paid for them and the payoff that I'll be getting. So let's move on to these bad boys. Not sure if I mentioned it, they have different boxes with different color palettes. This one is the pastel one. What do they say? They say highlight fastness, waterproof permanent, odorless, acid-free, pH neutral, available in 60 colors. So I'm assuming this one has 12. So I'm assuming that that's what they're referring to. Jesus. So yeah, let's get these a go. I'm really excited. If the nib is similar, okay, this opens to the side. If the nib to these is similar to the nib of this could be a really exciting find for me because I really like that nib. So let's try these out. I'm gonna map out all of the colors and do some swatches. Oh, okay, wait, there's some ghosting with that green, but I think I just went ham on those areas because there's no ghosting with anything else. So moving on. Okay, so let's just see what the nibs look like. If they're the same as the Sanguine kit. I've laid out like a sheet for all of, oh yes. So basically just laid out all of the color shades. They do have a color shade name and number, so that's nice. Do you see that? It's the same as the other one. This is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see that? I don't know if this is picking up properly because of this shade, but like, again, the nib, it just follows every movement. You can go from really thin to really thick, which is really, really nice. Okay, so here are the swatches. They're in order. So we start here, go all the way through here. They're in this order. So I don't know if you guys can see the colors. I hope that they pick up as well in person as they do on camera. The colors are gorgeous. I decided, you know what, like I did with the last ones, to try and letter some things just so you guys can see what the effect is when you letter with them. My English is failing me at this point, guys. Basically, love the colors. The color palette is gorgeous. I don't understand why they did this to the packaging of this little guy. It's not neon. Why did they make it neon? Other than that, no complaints. These colors are so beautiful. I love this pale pink. The apricot is gorgeous. This pink is such like a nice Barbie pink. The ice blue is such a lovely sky blue. I've been looking for a sky blue and I wasn't able to find one. It's gorgeous. The light indigo is such a unique color. Like it looks kind of like a bluish gray, and then you look at cold gray and realize that it's kind of like a very low saturated blue, which is really beautiful. You know, like those cats, like the Russian blues. This reminds me of those cats. Really like the colors. Colors are really beautiful. As far as like the nib, like I mentioned, it's very lovely. Like the nib just goes along with movement, so you can have a lot of precision. I feel like these are mostly like made with artists in mind, so people that have a lot of like precision in their drawing. Unfortunately, your girl, my hands are kind of shaky. I'm working on being more precise with my hands because I do struggle with it. I do need to warm up my hands before I can do anything that involves some kind of precision. Either way, you can still clearly like do some basic lettering with these. I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're super nice for it. I don't think that they are made for lettering. I don't think that that's their purpose. I think that their purpose is mostly for like drawing and illustrations. So that is what I would use them mostly for. Like I said, I usually mostly use my brush pens for just my bullet journaling, for like painting things, for just coloring things in, for some accent colors here and there. So I don't usually use them all that much for lettering, so I'm okay with them not being super I don't think that it's not that they're good for lettering. I think it's like, here's the thing. I think that Tombos are mostly made to be like smooth. Like for example, let's do a little comparison. So this is what it looks like. The nib on this one is kind of frayed at this point, so it's not looking as nice as it could. See, it's very smooth, right? And let's go in with another color. Just these are all Tombos that I'm using just to pass along the idea. So you can get a lot of like smooth, like fine and thick lines, and it's very smooth, right? The nib on this one is made to be very smooth. The nib on this is made to be precise. So if you increase the precision, you kind of reduce on the smoothness. So you can get really fine lines and really like nice thick lines, but it's just not as smooth, and you do have to be a bit more careful with these. If your intent with brush pens is to, then again, like the result is still very nice. If your intent is to straightly just letter, and you're kind of a beginner and you're not very precise, or you have very shaky hands like me, I wouldn't really go for these. If your intent is lettering, like I was saying, if your intent is lettering, I still think that the Tombos, so far from the ones that I've tried, are the best ones. But these are really nice. I love the color range. I like that they're more affordable. This pack of 12 was 28 euros. I don't know if I've mentioned that already. That, I made the math, that's like $2.30 for each brush pen. Tombos are a minimum of $4.20 at this point. So you do get a bigger bang for your buck. If the fine liner aspect of the Tombow is a deal breaker for you, maybe, you know, these wouldn't be that great of an investment. For me, I don't use them that much, so just with the brush pen I would be fine with. And I also want to dive deeper into like just sketchbook drawing, kind of like illustrating things, or at least I want to delve into that. So these, for me, I feel like they were a really good investment, and I'm actually looking forward to trying out more of their color bundles because they have more colors of this and they have more packs like these. So that is very interesting for me. I'm very happy with them. They don't really ghost at all. This is my nail polish. They don't ghost at all. They don't bleed through. There's some like ghosting just when you turn the page, but that's because the light hits it, and that's kind of normal with everything. So for me, these really worth the investment. I absolutely love the color palettes. I can see myself doing a lot with these. Really happy with this purchase. I'm overall very happy with all of my purchases. So that is really nice. I don't feel like I wasted any money. I feel like I can very easily get some use out of all the things that I purchased, which is very nice. Let me know what you guys think about this set. Have you guys used these before? Maybe in another color? What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? What is your favorite brand of brush pen so far? Are there any that you would like me to try? Do you have any brush pens, markers, brand suggestions that aren't very known that I could maybe look into getting my hands on them and reviewing them for you guys? I would be down for that. So far, guys, really love these. I think that my favorite product is this pack, just because I see this being very versatile. Of course, I also, honestly, my favorite two are these. I feel like these are the best like investments out of the things I purchased. For the price points, they're very, very good quality, and I can see myself getting a bunch of use out of them. But this, I feel like just for the fact they're Fineliners, I feel like I would get more use out of them than this, because I don't always color things in with these color palettes. Does that make sense? Although pastels are my favorite color palette, and there are really beautiful colors on here that I can do a lot with. But this one, I feel like if you want to start out, and if you want to get used to the nib on these, because the nib on this and on these is the same. So if you want to like get going and start practicing, I feel like you could really start off with just getting this, because you can practice with that nib and get that hang of it, and then you can move on to the color set, which is a bit pricier because you know you are getting more. So those are my thoughts on these. Overall, really liked these predominantly. These are good additions to the collection. These are really great colors. I really like these, but I'm not sure if I will get a lot of use out of them. Overall, I will use them. I will be sure to use them, but I don't know. I like these better. They are higher quality. These ones, I think I might use this quite a bit for note taking. I really like the color shade, and I think I will get the marker set as well. I need that deep, not deep, that light teal in my life. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was useful. I hope that this maybe brought some new products to your attention that you hadn't seen before on here on YouTube. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you enjoyed about this video. Are there any products that you'd like me to try and show you guys? Do you have any suggestions for future videos? I'm always down to listen to your guys' suggestions and to have a chat in the comments down below. So let me know, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!